Plastic. It is so much more than the plastic wrap we use to store the vegetables we already used in the fridge. It is not just this once, it is the bigger picture. We want the best, we want progress, we want things to be easy, fast and clean. And maybe we can achieve that, but only if we eventually find a balance. Because every little bottle cap, every peeling bead, every bag, every small leftover ends up somewhere. And very often it ends up in the sea. And then what? I think what I'm trying to say is there should be no exceptions when it comes to doing the right thing. Just like with everything else. And yet we constantly make exceptions. Not out of malice, but because it is convenient. Because it is faster. Because we are tired. Because we are stressed. Because we do not have time to question everything all the time. A quick stop to the supermarket. A quick errand. And then it's a plastic bag, please. And that is not an exception. That is everyday life. And that is exactly the problem. Not only the big decision, but in the small, ordinary habits that feel so normal, we barely notice them anymore. Plastic and consumption have increased massively over the last decades. And this is not something that only shows up in statistics. It shows up in drawers, in our kitchens, supermarket shelves, bathrooms, and the things we buy, we use, and throw away again. We actually know this. Everyone knows it. And this is exactly what makes it so absurd. We know it, and still we keep pushing it aside. We live in a time when information is constantly available, and at the same time we are remarkably good at ignoring what is uncomfortable. Maybe because so much has become so big that it no longer feels like the decision of the individual. I grew up in the 2000s, and my school sandwiches were wrapped in plastic film, which were later put in a plastic box. Hygiene? Maybe. Practical? Absolutely. Is it sensible? That is debatable. And that tension is exactly what interests me, because a lot of what we learned to seem normal is not automatically the right thing. Because plastic is not just useful, plastic is also a material that stays. It does not really disappear. It changes, it breaks down, becomes smaller, invisible, but it does not simply go away. It comes back in landscapes, in oceans, on beaches, in animals, in the water we drink, the food we eat, and the air we breathe. And that is what makes it so problematic. What I want to show with my work is exactly this contradiction, that plastic can be useful, convenient, cheap, and destructive all at once, that we live within it without always wanting it, that we use things without immediately caring their consequences, or at least without seeing them right away. And yet, we do carry them, slowly, quietly, everywhere. That is the real task, I think. Not to use everything just because it's there. Not to accept everything just because it's easier. And not to look away just because it is uncomfortable.